Hey guys. Okay, so I'm live. So I decided on what I'm going to do as my last modification. Actually, for I mean, not maybe not the last, but possibly the last modification for the season, and that is to get a windshield for the Grom. So the Grom is currently let's see, it has an air intake, the TST Worx airbox modification. It has the full exhaust system from Tyga, and it also has the Stage 1 DHM ECU flash. So right now, I would say my top speed is around 67, 68, which is very similar to pretty much everyone else's top speed with these modifications. Average speed is probably 64, 65. And so now, average top speed that is. So now let's think about this a little bit more in terms of the goals for the bike. And there's reasons for these goals as well. Actually, maybe one of them, there isn't really that much of a reason. The first goal is to get above 70 or 70 for a top speed. And currently, that is not it's not doing that at the moment. There's no way it's gonna hit 70 unless it's like hugely advantageous downhill with a tailwind. So that's not happening. The other thing is that obviously we can't ride these things onto interstate or anything like that. But there are 55. Well, I mean, you could, but there are 55-mile-per-hour roads in Wisconsin that the Grom in stock form had huge trouble with because the top speed was 58 to 60, and in a 55 mile per hour, people are going to be going like 62, 65. So I would say now with the upgrades that I have, it's kind of manageable. Those roads, I won't feel like I'm such a hindrance anymore, but still not quite there yet because you ideally want to go 65 or cruising on a 55 mile per hour road, and my average top speed is around 65, 60, 64, 65. So just a little bit more to get to that, those really, it's making it a more usable bike on the road. So let's watch this video real quick. So the first thing I was thinking about was just to do gearing, and gearing down, gearing up, whatever. Gearing down, I guess, to utilize more of the RPM range in fifth, and gearing down for top speed. But in either of those cases, the problem is that the bike in its current upgrades just does not make enough power to get to 70 and or 65 average, 65, 66 average. And the reason why is that at those higher speeds, wind resistance is huge. So it's like wind resistance, the force is to the power 2. I won't get into too difficult, but it's very big. It's more difficult to get an extra mile per hour at 65 than it is to get one at like 30, right? So anyway, so let's watch this video. So I decided not to do the gearing and decided to do this instead. So this is the Honda Monkey. Basically the same bike engine as the Honda, as my Grom. Same modifications.
People tell me that one way to increase the top speed of the Honda Monkey is to add a windshield. I don't know about that. I understand it might help cut through the wind a little bit better. But we're going to do some experimentation.
So that windshield that he has here is the Puig Rafale Universal, and it's like $150 with shipping. But this one is a generic one. It looks pretty similar. It pretty much is probably the same. The only thing I don't like about this windshield that I ordered is that it's completely clear. I would rather have a smoke one.
On windshield and see if it actually makes a difference. So first thing we're going to do is take the Honda Monkey in stock form, well, this one is modified. It does have exhaust, intake, and tune.
So basically his Monkey is exactly the same as mine. So the Monkey overall is a faster bike than the Grom for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe this is lower to the ground, but we have the same bike essentially, same motor, whatever.
We're going to take it for a ride without the windshield, see what our top speed is, then we'll go ahead and install the windshield, do exactly the same ride on exactly the same day, exactly the same mods, just the addition of the windshield, and see how that affects our top speed. Now, one thing I do want to note here is we're going to go off of the speedometer. There are no
Okay,
planes
we'll
involved
go
here.
to the actual.
Accurate.
So this is the ride without the windshield. As you can see, his top speed is actually really close to mine. But again, the Monkey is a faster bike overall. So here he's going. It's a slight downhill, but not. But then he also goes uphill when he hits that bridge, so you know you have to count for that too. So this is upright, 66, 67. So basically, let's just say he's at 67. So very similar to mine. I'm like 67, 68. Again, he's a heavier rider than me, but you know this is about just the incremental change. So now he's with the windshield, okay? $72. Okay. Okay. That's pretty big. When we're talking about incremental updates and, you know, to our bike, this is pretty good. So 72 top speed. So basically, you know, it checks off that. And at that speed, it means that he's obviously able to ride on 55-mile-per-hour roads. You know, when it's going downhill, when the road and conditions are advantageous, he's at 72. When it's not advantageous, he's probably at 65, right? So that's perfectly reasonable for small highway or those 55-mile-per-hour roads. So this is what I ordered. This is pretty much what he has, except again, I don't really like the clear, but that's the only options that's available at the moment. The only thing I would say about this is that it will take away from the look of the bike. Well, right now my bike is a jumbled mess because I still have the tail, the whale tail, with a high mount exhaust. So I need to really get rid of that as soon as possible. So that's that. So I bought this. It'll be here like within a week or so, and I'll give it a try and see what happens. The other option is something like this. And here I don't know how. So if you take a look at this one looks more like suitable for the Grom 2022 Grom style. However, I'm not quite sure how to mount this. So it looks like it's just supposed to mount. And this is a smaller windshield too, so it might not have as good of a performance, but it's probably better than nothing. And the color I would really want is just smoke color right here. But I don't know how this mounts onto the actual bike, right? So it says it's for something like a rounded headlight. I assume that perhaps we could use it too with some modifications. Something like that, I don't know. So I'll be trying this one out first, and then also trying out one like this. And I just need to figure out, I mean, it's only $20, so I just need to figure out how to mount it correctly. And if I, you know, obviously if I get the if I get the smoke one, that will look very, very nice and very, in line with the Grom look. So anyway, so that's the plan. I'm pretty sure with this mod, I'll be able to go. I will basically achieve my goals, and at that point, I need to ask myself if I want to do any more, which is, I just might do not this season, but I might just do the cam later, because that will add an extra horsepower, and then that would, if this is correct, if this really is my top speed after this, with this windshield, my top speed with the cam is probably gonna be like 75, right? And then that would be pretty decent. But anyway, that's the update. Actually, I'm gonna do a review. I changed my mind on kind of like the worth of what I'm doing, or like the upgrades. It's definitely is worth it. The only problem is I think the exhaust is not a really quality exhaust is not that necessary, but that's just my opinion. All right, talk to you guys later.